Jacob, there's two things I love in this world: good content and good clothes. And Elite Sports is helping us do both of them. Not only do they help support the podcast, but they have really cool gear for local Bobcats.
They're developing these athletes' own brand, and every time you make a purchase over there, you put money right back into student athletes' pockets. It's a pretty sick business model.
It's a great business model. NIL is really helping these athletes. You can use code SQUARE right now on Elite Sports to buy all of your favorite Texas State athlete gear and help support the podcast.
Help support the podcast. Help support the Bobcats. Bobcast? Question mark? Oh. Elite Sports. Use code SQUARE.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin' Around with Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Squarin' Around Mailbag edition this week with me and Zim. I'm in the valley right now, so that's what this setup is behind me. I'm in my childhood bedroom.
If you're in the valley and I'm in North Dakota, I think this is the furthest we physically have ever been away from each other.
I think you're right.
Right?
Yeah. And it hurts my heart.
Yeah. Makes me stronger. Love what is it? The distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go through, I guess, some stuff that we got. I'm going to start kind of at the bottom and then just kind of go into it. Okay, this is from our boy, 3CC. He follows us on Twitter, too. Every football season, I'm ready to get hurt. I just felt like we get our hopes up all the time. This is from our YouTube. Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so is there a question in there?
No.
Okay. Every football season, I get ready to get my heart broke. I understand. I understand 3CC. I, too, like to get my heart broken. That's why I go after 10 out of 10s on the dance floor. I always go home with sore feet with any women. So me and you and the Texas State Bobcats, we all have had our heart broken all the time.
These are from that third Republic of Football podcast episode we did. So that's like, that was our spring game preview show that we had. So I'm sure everybody's expectations are through the roof right now with everybody's signing. And that's what most of these are on our YouTube, is reacting to that stuff. Again, this is from the same episode from @comply. That's kind of a sick username.
That's pretty good. You get that one early?
Good. Yeah, he was like the early adopter of YouTube. Lane's already taken so much from the Bobcats fans. At the least he can do is sign the jersey with a patch. Shout out, comply.
I like that. That's true. For the fans at home, I was on eBay because I do shopping therapy. And I was on eBay and I was looking for Texas State gear that, former athletes might sell online. And I ran across a vintage now Lane Hatcher jersey. And I sent it to Jacob and I made fun of it on Twitter. And Jacob said, you know what? Somebody's got to buy this thing because it can't go to a UTSA fan to burn. Lane Hatcher, give us your P.O. box. We will send it. We'll get it signed and we'll give it back. And then Jacob can hang it on his wall.
Yeah, then it'll be a real jersey. Yeah. If you have a Sunbelt patch, throw it in for me too. I'll throw that on.
I'll throw in the postage.
Yeah, I'll pay for shipping if Lane agrees.
That's true. It is the least he can do. He got our hopes up and then he dipped out early. So if he can't sign Jacob's jersey, I don't know what the deal is.
From our guy Comply. The Cal spring game. Jake Spavital and that garbage offense. Can't believe they hired him. I won't waste my time watching another spring game, let alone for a coach who
dude. I barely like watching our spring game, to be honest. Look,
yeah, like it's like just like candy, basically. You have too much of all that stuff preseason, it's not good for you.
More football is never a bad thing. However, Cal is not even like a very good Pac-12 team. Also, where did you watch it? Because where was it streaming? Like on 4chan? Because I don't think it was on TV. So where did you see that link? The dark web? I don't know. Shout out to you, man.
Hey, Comply again. This is the last one on our YouTube. But again, Comply. He's talking
Keep doing it, man. Keep commenting.
Talking about our New Mexico State quarterback, Carson Kaiser. A New Mexico State quarterback is a preferred walk-on. Probably didn't have any better offers. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't reached out to verify if so or no or not or whatever. But I don't know. There's a lot of commits that I'm like, dang, this is almost too much to keep track of, and I don't really feel like it.
Could you could you imagine reaching out over DM? Because that's where you would have to reach out. You reach out over DM, you go like, "Hey, was this the best offer you got, or do you have better options?" I assume preferred walk on. You go to like the place that it checks 2 boxes for you. A, of course, education, and B, nice area, San Marcos.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
NIL
go.
money's not.
Thought you were going
NIL
with
money
C.
does not play a part. No,
See you at the bank.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I was going to say be the Babes, but I was going to go over all the atmosphere of Texas State.
Okay, cool. And then I think we're going from our Twitter now to these are the next kind of group. And this goes basically like kind of spring game reactions. And then we finish with baseball, basically, is how I've stacked this, I think. It's also kind of chronological. So get ready.
All right, I'm locked in.
Ready. People are finally investing. This is from our guy on Twitter at Hornsby Train, reacting to the massive donation that the baseball and softball team got. And then the second one that they got later. So yeah, if you build it, they will come.
Let me get a lot of money.
Is what I reacted with on Twitter. Huge, so many donations lately. This is gonna make a huge difference in the future. Yeah, I hope so. You know, inflation kind of hard to. $1 million now is not $1 million what it was. You know.
Let me ask you this: as an alumni, a proud alumni, by the way, do you see these donations and go, maybe I don't need to send my $25 in this month?
Oh, absolutely. Have you done that? Have you gotten like those emails, like updating your alumni profile? I have not done that actually. Have you?
I did. I updated my alumni profile. However, I do not have the subscription to it. This is my thought process.
I didn't even know there was a. Can you break that down for me?
Well, so what you do is it's like you can give monthly donations essentially, right?
Mhm.
Which everybody else is subscribed to Disney Plus. I'm subscribed to a TXST Plus, right? They just can. Well, I should say TXT subtract. It subtracts money out of my bank account. But like you sign up for the donation package and it can like go month by month. This is my thought process. I go, give me 5 years out of school before I start giving money. I'm 3 years now. In 2 years, I will be giving my money to Texas State. But 5 years, at least give me 4. Give me 4 years out before I'm like giving you money again.
I would rather like buy tickets, I guess, because that's another way to give back to the university / specific department, you know.
So or you just buy season tickets,
or just give like one lump sum, I guess, during like Step Up for State. I donated to the Star last year, so.
I give a lot of my time. I think my time is more valuable than my money at this point.
The athletic director did tell us we're better alums for doing this specific show.
That's true. I give my time to the youth, and my time, there's no inflation there, baby. Money comes and goes. Time, it's forever. So that's how I justify being a cheapskate.
We got mentioned in this. This is from redshirtsports.xyz. It's kind of like this guy that's doing independent sports journalism. But he says he kind of like broke down Texas State's history at NFL stadiums. So it's kind of sick. This is like right after the Sam Houston game got announced. So every single time that Texas State has played in NFL type stadium, he broke it down in this article. Which
how did we do?
Time waster. I don't know.
I don't think very well.
I wouldn't assume so. First of all, we can't even play in our stadium. Defeating UCF. He doesn't have like just one stat line, so he just kind of goes through like
flashback to 1973. Southwest Texas State's taken on Eastern Illinois Tech at Jerry World 1.0. You know what they should have? They should have a directional school bowl, because like the schools that have like directional northeast, southwest, whatever, have the best 2 teams that are directional schools play each other. That's what they should do, but they don't, and they're wasting time. They're wasting money there.
This is from last week's episode from our guy Adrian Garza. Most teams carry 1 to 2 preferred walk-on quarterbacks. If they would have gotten the UCF quarterback transfer, that would have been a ship. Depth is always needed when we plan to run quarterback as part of the offense. It's kind of just a string of thoughts, Adrian. But I agree. I don't know what any of these guys. I think our scholarship number is like north of 85, like 86 or something like that. But I don't. There's so many like boop, 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 boop. And then just because you commit anywhere doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go there. We had two in the National Signing Day class that dropped right before, and then everybody was just kind of like sweep it under the rug. So I don't know. I don't trust anybody until the ink dries, basically.
Or until they're in a Bobcat uniform.
Yeah, like that guy's not a Bobcat yet, just because he visited the school and said he was going to come here on Twitter with a graphic.
Well, come on. Think about how many high school kids come to Texas State. They go, oh, I'm totally going to go here. And then they're here for 2 weeks. They don't go to any classes. Then they leave, right? Like, I mean, you're not really a Bobcat until you're not really a Bobcat until you suffer through one finals or until you've lived through a tsunami.
One torrential downpour. Yeah, I think that's true.
The San Marcos tsunamis. Yep. Yeah.
What was your welcome to Texas State moment?
The first week that we moved into the dorms, I lived in Tower, and it poured rain that weekend, and I soaked my shoes, and I had to actually go to the outlets and buy new shoes because my other shoes were so wet I couldn't wear them the first day of school. A lot of walking.
I remember being at Harris Dining Hall, and this is when I realized that I had free will as an adult now. It's a big like moment for Jacob. Like the frontal lobe is barely starting to come around and connect for me. I was like, I guess I was 18 or 19, 18. Yeah, I turned 18.
You look 14.
Yeah, I looked 14 is the point. This is about Jacob 20 pounds ago. Shout out Mason Harrell. But anyway, I'm at the Harris Dining Hall, and I'm with this guy and his girlfriend and like a bigger group, like 10 people. But I keep going up to get some plates at Harris Dining Hall. Buffet style, baby. And so I keep coming back. Soon enough, it's just us three. And the guy's like, can you get out of here? And I'm like, oh, I thought we were all friends. Like, this is like the freshman group, you know? Like, we were, all right, fuck you, man. And I just left.
So you being a third wheel was your welcome to college moment?
Yeah, I was like, damn, I got fighting depression.
That's something. I'm glad we got that off our chest.
This is from a relatively new follower. As you all know, this episode was inspired by our viewers because we could have just done a normal Squarin, but I was like, we haven't done a mailbag in like a month and a half. Why not? So I put it up to the viewers, and we got 18 votes, and mailbag won. Dutch Chattahoochee, 2 comments here. Do you think there is an actual rivalry between UTSA and Texas State, or are UTSA students just making it up?
Yes, as my entire life, there's been a little bit of a rivalry there with basketball, especially. I saw a bunch of UTSA Texas State basketball games. But yeah, it's 100% a rivalry. Are you kidding me? It's not a rivalry really because they keep kicking our ass in like football, but everything else, it's a rivalry.
Yeah, I remember when we used to play them very routinely in basketball. I guess we played them once this year, but we used to do like a home and home. I feel like 2016 era. Anyway, I think those games got very physical. They also had like one of the better scorers in the country too. One of the years that they played us, he just diced us up, beat us at the half. Yeah, and then he goes on to say that'd be cool to discuss. I live in San Antonio. UTSA talks a lot of mess here. I don't really pay attention to them. I wonder why UTSA hates Texas State so much. I think one thing is probably proximity. You have 2 schools that basically are vying for the same student body, and then you get indoctrinated, your freshman year, and you're just like, I bleed maroon and gold now,
Yeah, but what's nice about Texas State, and we've said this a billion times, they have essentially made it impossible for it to become a commuter school because they got rid of all the parking. So you really can't commute. You have to live in San Marcos or like on campus. Whereas UTSA has built a ton of parking lots, so they have really leaned into being a commuter school. That's why that's the biggest difference I see between Texas State and UTSA.
When I went to UTSA, I thought I made a wrong turn and I ended up at La Cantera Mall because they're so close. You're just on that side of San Antonio. And they all just look the same. Like it's all just beige buildings. And I was like, oh my God. So it's relatively speaking, it's kind of like A&M. Like, A&M is just a sea of beige.
Yeah, don't compare A&M and UTSA.
I'm saying Jesse, whoever did their architecture is probably fans of each other.
Oh, 100%. They like that Spanish Mission look. Jesse, my brother, went to UTSA.
Holds up better in the sun, maybe.
Maybe. Went to UTSA. He would park at La Cantera and walk across the street to go to UTSA because the parking was free over there. So he would either take the bus or he'd just walk over.
This is from our guy, not the athletic director, but Donnie C, the parody account for our athletics director. In summer 2007, what are little Zimmy and Jacob doing? Summer 2007? How old were we?
All right. So I was 10 years old in the summer of 2007. I turned 10 in August of 07. So I was trying to think about this. What was I doing when I was 10 years old? And I really do believe it was, I really, and this is true. During the evenings, it was like all-star practices for like Little League Baseball. I did that all summer long. During the day, it's 1,000,000,000 degrees outside. So I was either hanging out inside watching SpongeBob probably, or playing with my brothers, or doing manual labor with my dad asking us to pick rocks outside. One of those three things. So that was probably what I was doing. A lot of baseball.
Pretty sure I was still in the valley, but a different part of the valley. I lived in Edinburgh, and
Edinburgh. That's a
the
place.
home of Grupo Frontera, man.
Me queda 1% y lo usaré solo para decirte lo mucho que lo siento.
Yeah, roll that.
It's the band that has that song with Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Edinburgh,
Little
bro.
Jacob was not like getting groomed to be a pitcher like Zimmel. I had free will. I played soccer growing up.
Shocking.
But that doesn't play it's like mostly late summer, I guess. Maybe.
It's got to be. That's a September, October.
McAllen Youth Soccer Association.
You can't play soccer in the valley during the summer, especially when you're like little, because it's so freaking hot. It's so hot.
I remember it being during the
remember I played baseball during the summer. This is when I was in high school. And I was as close to the color of your forearms as possible for me to get. It was so tan because I was out playing every single day. It was crazy. Now, granted, I'm probably going to end up having to have like some sort of radiation later in life from all that sun damage. But for the time, I looked really good. I look real tan. Farmer's tan was awful, but yeah.
Nice. Donnie had another one for you too. He said, "By the way, I'm up to 130 followers now, Zimmy."
Yeah, I don't remember where we got this beef from, but he does have 130, which is very cool. That when he gets to like 300 followers, we'll take another one of his questions. But I really liked his FMK. That one was funny.
Well,
that was one where I was. Oh, he had two? I only saw one.
Yeah, no, he had two. The first one was the FMK you were talking about, Scarlet Witch, Wonder Woman, and Paul Rudd.
Yep.
That was good.
Yep.
You quoted already? What did you say? Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
Zimmel quoted it and went, "I'm going to jump on this one. Paul Rudd, it's been nice knowing you. Wonder Woman, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Scarlet Witch, I can fix her and give her what she wants." That's a good one. And then he gave us
I'm telling you, dude.
He gave us a serious question. This is how we start to I guess at the end of spring, we're starting to talk about summer, what they coulda, shoulda, woulda. On a scale of 1 to is it September 2nd yet, how ready are you to start the football season?
8.5. I'm ready for it. I do want a run to Omaha, and a very wise man once told me, "Don't wish your life away." And I want to really focus on Texas State baseball, because I think that if they don't do something in the Sun Belt tournament, we'll put it this way: if we don't do something in the Sun Belt tournament, I'm looking at it as a disappointment. So I'm already feeling kind of that anxious, like, are they going to do something? Are they not going to do something? What could be, what are we expecting here? That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I get you. They're on their way to, the baseball team at least, is on their way to ULM right now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm excited. I got to see part of that Georgia State series. By the way, I wish I had just gone to that Saturday or Sunday game when they recognized everybody. Everybody went to that Saturday game. I was at the Friday night game like a real fan. See them come back and beat Georgia State. That was awesome. It was a great game to watch. I was with Jason and Tristan. I like giving myself just one game to go as a fan, Good to let off some steam.
What do you do as a fan? What's the difference between being a fan and being a journalist?
I don't know, because I went in literally with my entire setup ready to report, and then I was like, just started chugging beers, and I was like,
oh, okay, so the alcohol consumption. Gotcha. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I try to be a little bit more buttoned up. I try to do a little bit less cheering when I'm like, doing like reporting stuff, whether it be live tweeting or just keeping stats or whatever. I try not to be like very vocal. Today, I went as a fan. I had no like no regard. I was jumping up and down. I was saying, get down. I was out here doing he's safe, arguing with the officials. Like, that's a strike. I was doing it all. I had a great time. That's what letting off steam really is.
Yeah.
You know, when you actually are like a buttoned up journalist, like yours truly. I
wouldn't say that this podcast lends itself for us to be buttoned up. You know, we kind of go back and forth with some people, and
you got your armpits out in like the wild. So yeah, I would not say buttoned up.
I'm not getting out free content though, so
gotcha.
I guess this is free if you sit through that ad. But
not going to do the armpit pics. No, I get it. I understand.
I don't need a screenshot like that to exist on the internet. This one is from not like Atlas, but he's an LSU student and booster, and he had he's reacting to this spreadsheet online, showing like the predictions for like the different regionals, and they have us going into the LSU regional right now. So it'd be LSU as a 1 seed, us as a 2 seed, UTSA and Alabama, according to this random guy on the internet's bracketology.
That's a good region, man.
Yeah, no, that's insane. But the LSU guy,
he's a student and a booster.
He said,
does the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. He said, one team I don't want to play, Texas State.
Okay, now let me ask you.
Yes, they did lose to Louisiana Lafayette this year. The LSU Tigers.
Yeah, is that a dig at Alabama and not a big upping on Texas State?
Well, Alabama's kind of going through a lot right now. They got their coach betting against them to lose.
I understand.
So if they play in that same tournament, which they would according to that regional set, there's going to be some bad blood.
Cause baby, now we got bad blood.
Yeah, it sounds like the bad blood region, honestly. LSU and Alabama, and then us and UTSA. Seems like the bad blood region.
Would that be on the SEC network? I guess, right?
Hashtag Eras Tour.
Hashtag Eras Tour. Now, if you think I'm not going to put a bad blood bite in there, you're wrong.
You should.
I'm going to.
Oh, 100%. This
is also another kind of Fun Belt related one. Fun Belt Sports has this beer drinking power rankings at Sunbelt_sports. Texas State, number 1. Boom! But all these Cajun fans were like, Texas State can't drink with us. Brother, have you been to the square?
Brother, have you been to a Texas State baseball game?
Have you been to the Bud Light tent at the Texas State games, man?
I went to A&M and Texas State. This had to be 2019. It was a baseball game. Mm-hmm. So you had alumni from A&M. You had alumni. So it was a big game. It was not bigger than the UT.
In San Marcos?
Yes. It wasn't bigger than the UT game, but it was probably the second biggest game of the season when it came to like attendance. That place was packed. That place was full. That place was drunk. That place was insane. And the amount of A&M fans can drink is already very like historic, very recognized. Texas State fans, we saw that. We say real, recognize real, respect. We're going to double fist it. And I remember I was sitting between two people. It was a guy, his girlfriend who didn't want to be there, and her friend who's kind of like a third wheel who I could kind of smell was trying to break him up. By the fourth inning, all those people were like sloshing beers. They're like, are you with us? No, I'm not with you guys. I don't know you, but like, it's been fun. You know, I had to actually move. Those were Texas State fans. I had to get up and I had to move because they were so crazy. And I sat next to some A&M fans who were like, oh, these Texas State fans kind of drunk, huh? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. It is. It's crazy.
I think Texas State fans handle their liquor better than most fan bases. You know, we've been there. We've been nursing these beers for a while.
Here's the thing. You don't want to generalize when you talk about alcoholism, but I do think that Texas State fans are a happy type of drunk.
Yes.
And I think A&M fans are an angry drunk. And I think Cajun fans are the type of drunk that take the keys. You know what I mean? If we like put them in those orders, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Shout out to the people who make graphs online and don't do podcasts. Because that's probably way harder, and you get a lot more vitriol like that online.
Graphs are harder than podcasts?
Well, because we're marketing to our own fans. So people are like, oh, yeah. Like,
let me tell you,
Other
there's
people
one
online
guy,
go, no, I can drink better than you can.
yeah, freaking Homer Simpson. Look, there's one guy, it's something boomer that makes those like lists that are just off the freaking wall. It's like top 50 whatever. Just no research, just let's throw some names against the board type shit. That is impressive. That to me is more impressive than any other real graph. Is like, yeah, okay, maybe a Wall Street broker can make me a graph of like, APR interest rates. What this guy does, just randomly select bars and say top 50 bars in America. Shout out to him, bro. Shout out to him. That's incredible.
I'm kind of over, I guess, like the Barstool, like best bar thing in like San
It only
Marcos
took 6 years.
on
You're
San
done?
Marcos Twitter because it's just like for 2 weeks, this is like all you see is like, no, this bar, no, this bar. No. I don't know. It's just like we get it, or like defending the Square. It's like I already know it's better than all these other places. I don't really care to argue about this point online. We turned into a Square fan account.
When was the last time that you argued with somebody, you or Austin over San Marcos when it comes to the bar scenes?
That's not even close. Like,
But you've had those arguments before, though, haven't you?
yeah, probably about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I had to defend. I haven't been there for 2 years, 3 years now. But I had to defend it recently to one of our other friends about like, hey, I understand Rainy Street's nice, but like, do not get it confused. The Square has everything you want. You want a dive bar? It's there. You want a restaurant? It's there. You want a club? It's there. Everything that you want is on the Square. Like, and it's all relatively easy. The only thing they could do, again, a little bit better parking, but besides that, you're fine.
Honestly,
Uber, you're set.
Yeah, don't drive there. Just get an Uber and go to the Square, have a good time, get another Uber back.
Yes.
Or taxis. I've seen a lot of taxis recently. I don't know why. I didn't know taxis were still a thing. But
well, taxis.
Whatever you're doing, get a safe drive home.
Yeah, for sure. This podcast endorses safe drives home.
Yes.
Go to the ULL podcast for the Risk Your Life.
Shout out Mugs Against Drunk Driving.
Yep.
Free plug.
Hashtag Eras Tour.
'Cause baby, now we got bad blood.
This was a mailbag question from you. You got this directly sent to your DMs.
I did.
What do you think baseball has to do to secure an at-large bid for regionals? I'm thinking a series win against UL and a sweep against Monroe.
You sweep against Monroe would be nice.
So they're on the road for like 2 weeks, basically. Because
a sweep against ULM would be nice. I do think beating UL is important.
I forgot that they go to Fort Worth again in the middle of all that. So they have 3 games in Louisiana.
Well, I will, shamelessly plug my other podcast here, the Hypnotoad podcast, where I talked about TCU and Texas State. And I said that if you're a Horned Frog fan, you do not want to see the Bobcats because Texas State is a pretty good team. That game is in San Marcos, though. So that should be
no, that one's in Fort Worth.
Is it? So
they already played the one in San Marcos, and that was their first ranked win of the year.
Right.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. All my point is
for Hypnotoad and for this.
My point is that TCU fans need to be nervous about Texas State.
Our boy, Big Tuna, Steve Trout, is a TCU Horned Frog. So I think it feels good to win. Also kind of sad. Like he's going to go back to his alma mater and have to beat him again.
I think you're sad you're beating your alma mater.
I would feel sad if I had to beat Texas State at anything.
Ooh, I don't know, man. If Jeff Traylor, Texas State fans, cover your ears. Jeff Traylor, if you want to call me and make me your quarterback coach or your pitching coach, I will promise you when we beat Texas State, it's going to be salt in the wound over there, baby. I am all about it. I'm all about it.
I've been working on this turn of phrase: salt, tequila, and lime in the wound.
Oh, there it is. When I go to a family reunion, I'm not thinking to myself, I hope we all have fun. I'm thinking to myself, I hope I kick these people's ass. And that's what it'd be like going. I think that's what it'd be like going back to your alma mater.
What are you doing at the family reunion? Playing cornhole or?
Yeah, cornhole. We got those like the golf thing. Horseshoes.
I've never had a family reunion.
Wash. Well, yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
That's tough. I don't know what to tell you. That's a rough one. What do you mean? I don't know. What do you mean you go to a family reunion? Yeah. I'm not gonna Tom Brenneman myself here. So I think
I got some people on the other side that never made it over. So, we don't even know those people.
no, it's tough. It's tough.
All right, cool. Those are basically all of our comments I wanted to roll through. And now I want to break down this week in Texas State news. But first, Andrew Zimmel has an interesting story about Kat Osterman and her new baby.
So, okay, we saw this online. I follow Kat Osterman on social media. I think everybody should. If you're looking to buy a home, I think she's somebody that you should be looking at too. Here's the deal. So her new baby shares her first name, and this is, have we confirmed this? I don't think so. This is what we're going off of her Instagram post. The first name of her new child is the middle name of Randy Rupp. Now, why is this so important? Well, it's because Kat coached Randy Rupp, one of the greatest softball pitchers in Texas State history, one of the best athletes in Texas State history. And I think it's really cool that there is not only this connection now, but almost a familiar connection here. You know what I mean? There's a almost a family bond. What's the middle? It's Ray, right? It's Randy Ray Rupp is the middle name. Is
R-A-E, yeah.
R-A-E, yeah. So Ray Rupp, and now it's Ray Osterman. So, or I guess it's not Osterman. I guess they might have the what is it, Asher?
Ray Skywalker, Osterman, Asher.
Who are you? I'm Ray. Ray Skywalker.
Something like that. Yeah. But shout out to that, because I thought it was a really cool story that they,
that is a really
got
cool
the
story.
name.
I was so hyped up when you sent me that picture. I also used you just now to kind of organize myself to break down the Texas State news. Richard West, Texas State starting right tackle in 2022, signed a free agent deal with the New Orleans Breakers of the USFL. The USFL is a league that has not played a single game yet, and the XFL is now the league that has a completed season under their belt, getting ready to play their championship game this week, Saturday, in San Antonio. So, I don't know. What league do you think is really going to survive?
I don't I want USFL to survive just because I like the name more. But XFL, here's my question. You're a San Antonio guy now. You're much more San Antonio than I am.
San Antonio.
Do people care? Are people checked in on XFL football in San Antonio? Because for the longest
they dropped
time,
the home opener, and I saw a bunch of Fire Hines Ward tweets. So I think they're not bought in either way. San Antonio likes winners. Nobody cared about UTSA until they started winning games.
That's true. Touche. That makes sense.
And then the Spurs, everybody's checked out right now because it's Tank City, baby.
I get that. I understand that. I just think that, remember a couple years ago, well, it's almost 15 years ago now, Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans and they played their games in the Alamo Dome. And people were saying, hey, let's try to keep them here. Shut the gates, make sure they can't leave. You know what I mean? San Antonio really wanted pro football. And the case has always been, well, it's not really a pro city. It's like a Spurs city, but everything else kind of hit or miss. So they have their shot here with a pro team, and, it doesn't really look like anything's happening, right? It just doesn't feel like it's kind of taken hold.
It's fine. I mean, I don't know what their attendance has been, but it's fine. It's who cares?
Have you watched any games?
It's just another thing to do in San Antonio. I haven't seen a game, but tickets are $10. So you could if you wanted to.
See, that's the other thing.
They're playing in the
I went to an arena football game.
The Alamo Dome is
I know, yeah.
where the Spurs broke the single game attendance record this year. Also, had 65,000 fans there, so it's possible
to put people in that stadium. Yeah, but you also remember what team was the team that they were playing. They're playing defending world champions. So, my point is,
I did boo a child that day too, with his father walking down. Oh, Golden State.
The Zimmel in you is strong.
Yeah.
Look, I just say to myself that UTSA, they have to kind of close off a section of that stadium because it's too big for them. XFL games, they're $10 a ticket. Is it a real league? Yeah. I don't know. That's my point. Point is kind of just shrug the shoulder.
It's the names for me of all these teams. It's just all these lame names and lame logos. They just rockified it. Every time Dwayne Johnson gets behind anything, it just gets cornier by the day. And that's kind of what this league has been. It's fine. As long as the product is successful enough to maintain TV contracts and stuff, ultimately that's a win for everybody because we're gonna have our boy Savion Patton on in the next week from the Orlando Guardians or whatever they are, the team in Orlando that absolutely whooped the Brahmas when they played.
What's the San Antonio? It's the Renegades, right?
San Antonio Brahmas, Arlington Renegades, who are in the championship game, and the DC Defenders playing Saturday at the Alamo Dome.
So why does the Alamo Dome get this? Why is the Alamo
Brahmas
Dome?
had 5 Brahmas make the All-Star XFL team. Look at all this sports knowledge just in the back of my head for San Antonio.
So wait, so they got the championship game because they have 5 guys go to the All-Star game?
According to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the star of Ballers,
From Ballers fame.
yeah, Ballers fame. But it was because San Antonio and Texas as a whole is a big football. That's why there's 3 Texas teams: San Antonio, Houston, and Arlington with the Renegades.
I think if we create the right story and the right team, I think the city is really going to be hungry and passionate for it. To see almost, I think, 20,000 people here tonight, it's very special.
So
okay.
I don't know. I think they just wanted, let's just do football on a budget.
Let's just football. Can we just football?
Can we just football, everybody?
Can we just football? Yeah. Shout out to Dwayne, man. He and we're going to be brothers soon. Do you know that?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and you?
Mm-hmm. There's a fraternity. For those of you that don't know, there's a fraternity of men who are bald, and it's a secret organization. We're all brothers. So me and him, I'm working on it. I'm like a almost, it's almost like a stepchild at this point for Dwayne Johnson.
You're pledging that fraternity?
That's a relationship. I am. Every day my hair follicles, they take the dive.
This week in Texas State sports, softball's preparing to open up against Troy. They're playing in the quarterfinal round, so they get a first round bye. They're coming in as a 5th seed to the tournament. Again, another team that's like, if we don't make noise in the tournament, kind of who cares about the rest of the season because you need to go into the post play. This team's too good. It's got too much talent on the team to not do anything in the playoffs.
Is it wrong for us to say that? Because Coach Z was not super. I don't think she was super thrilled by our. Well, if you don't do anything in the postseason, does the season matter? She was like, yes, it does.
Well, they're a 5th
Which
seed. They didn't win that initial ring either. They don't get to hang a banner either way. This team.
Yeah. So the only way that you hang a banner is you win your conference. Yeah.
Correct.
What are the odds they get to hang a banner? What do you think?
The odds? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think everything being equal, the bats being at the right time, because that's what's happened to this team is either the pitching's been very good or the bats have been very hot, and never really have those 2 axes met.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think the pitching will be fine. I think it will be the hitting that is our problem. That's my take.
This week in Texas State sports, men's golf accepts postseason invite to the National Golf Invitational. That's cool. They also had kind of like a run in the Sunbelt golf tournament. I don't know if anybody was watching. That kind of crept up on me, but I was like, oh my God, we might have to start covering golf right now. And then that kind of tapered off. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they had a good 2 rounds, and then it was like, all right, back to
initial. I think you play 9 or you play 6 or something your first day or whatever, and then kind of break off into whoever's playing best in the scramble. You go first, So yeah,
It's a good time to plug the argument that we've been having for 2 weeks now, that I can roll out of bed and outdrive you.
Sure, let's go there.
No, I want to put that on the record. So now you have video confirmation, audio confirmation of Andrew Zimmel saying that if you give me a month, I'm going to be able to outdrive. I'm going to say the majority of people who take this super seriously, for 1. And 2, today, I would be able to outdrive Jacob.
There's no way. First of all, I know how to play golf. I love playing golf. And you can hit it. You can give me a club in my hand. It doesn't matter what. I'll hit it 200 plus.
Okay.
Give me a putter. Maybe not. It's not built to do that. I'll break a putter. Happy graduation. This is commencement week for the Bobcats, Zimmel. 59 student athletes are walking the stage.
Let me ask you, does that hurt your...
What?
Congratulations to them. Does it hurt your soul as somebody that lost this part of the year? I'll tell you, every March I get this little sadness in me. It creeps up to me, and then all the way till now, it's been building, and I don't know why. And it's because I have built-in trauma from COVID, man.
Now that you mention it, yes. But
Yeah.
I think I was able to go back and do the whole deal. You jumped in the river with me and Danny. You didn't walk though. Is there a reason you didn't walk?
You want the political answer?
No, I want both. I want the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
All right. Here's really the deal. I never really wanted to walk. I thought that it was always kind of like who is this for? It's for the parents, and my parents, I didn't think that they would care all that much. Like if I walked or not. My mom has a master's degree. My dad has always cared, I feel, a little bit more about athletics than he did about academics. He cared more about like what my post-college career was going to look like than like the college career, right? I didn't really care all that much about walking in the first place. However, I thought, it would be fun to walk with my friends. The other thing is, like, I thought I was not going to be around. It might have been wishful thinking to be in hindsight. I was hoping I wasn't going to be around. I was hoping that I'd already have a job and go somewhere else and be somewhere else. And then like, hey, I signed up for graduation to walk and I can't do it. In hindsight, what I should have done, signed up to walk. And then if I wasn't going to be there, just tell them, hey, I wasn't going to be there, and then not walked instead of not signing up at all. So hindsight 2020, I should have. Also, I was really fat. I gained a lot of weight during COVID. So it was like, who am I really doing? You know what I mean? So,
but you're in a big robe. Who cares?
Huh?
But you're in a big robe. Who cares? And because everybody jumps in the river. Some people don't even do up anything. They just wear their swim trunks, put a robe on, call it a day.
There was a photo I took with one of my friends when he jumped, Brendan Snow, you know him. Mm-hmm. And there was a breezy day, and the breeze got underneath my shirt, and it made me look like Puffy. It made me look like the comedian. And I was like, I'm good. Ever since pretty much that moment, I was like, I don't think I need to be putting myself in these type of situations.
Well, I remember being in high school and kids going like, man, fuck graduation. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna walk. And I'm
high school graduation.
Hey, that's the most privileged shit ever to say, because like some people don't even get a high school diploma. You kind of do something else, or maybe you don't finish, or there's some circumstances that surround that, and you end up having to get your your GED or something. Or then like for others in high school, like sometimes that's all you get. Like you maybe not going to college, or you're going to trade school, you're going to some other place that doesn't have that. Like so saying that like that is like crazy. So for me, it was like no brainer. I'm gonna walk regardless of whatever. Because it's a big deal,
Yeah, I know. I understand that. Like now, as a 25-year-old, I get that. As a 23-year-old, 22-year-old, I'm like, Yeah. Do I regret it? Is that the question?
Yeah. Would you go back?
All things being equal, I don't think it was like that. I don't miss it that much. For me to be like, let's get the time machine. We get the time machine. You get to go back to do one thing. This would not be that one thing. Put it that way.
It was really special to me. I liked it. I got to do it with one of our best friends, Danny. So
yeah,
shout out Danny. Texas State is also doing a new tradition. I don't know if you saw this online.
The coins.
The coin, yeah, a challenge.
What's the deal with that?
Have you ever heard of the tradition of the challenge coin? It's usually like military or police units. They like exchange like challenge coins.
Yeah, okay. For those guys,
and Kelly has a whole video online that explains it. I'm gonna play it right now.
Hey Bobcats, I'm excited to announce Texas State's newest tradition, the Challenge Coin. Beginning with the spring 2023 graduating class, graduates who participate in commencement ceremonies will receive a coin just like this. This tradition originated for military leaders to recognize service and bravery, and over time, more and more civilians and institutions have adopted this tradition. And I've enjoyed exchanging coins just like this throughout my career with faculty, staff, and students at the universities I've served at. This symbol is meant to remind you of your time at Texas State University, the memories you've made, the relationships you've created, and the victories you experienced along the way. I hope that every time you look at it, it reminds you that you're still a part of the Texas State community, now and always. And no challenge is too great for you to overcome. Once a Bobcat, always a Bobcat. Congratulations, graduates. State's up.
Thank you, Kelly.
For dawg, what the fuck? What are we doing?
I kind of like it.
First off, can I get one? Yeah, I would. If they gave me one, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem. No, I like, honestly. You want a really hot take? I like the coins more than I like the rings. I think the rings, they've effeminated the rings. I don't think the rings look as good as they should. And that's why I designed my own ring.
Well, this is the difference between you and me. Is you got a ring, but you made your own. not the class swing, the Balfour original one. You like made your own in the style of Uncut Gems, kind of, right?
Yeah, the Knicks championship ring from '73.
And I walked the stage and everything, but I do not have a ring on me.
I'll tell you what, I get more compliments on my ring than probably anything else that I do. And I'm not saying that I'm like the best person ever for like podcasting or radio. I'm not putting that out there. I've had more people come up to me and ask to see the ring, to ask what's it for. People coming up to me being like, where did I win it? You know, it is the people who've come up to talk to me about it. I have never met anybody with a Texas State ring that they bought from the school that has had this many people come up and talk about it. So I think I made the right decision with designing my own ring. Do I wish that I had the challenge coin? Yeah, because I could have made it out of that. You know, wouldn't that be cool?
That would
melt the challenge ring ding on. Yeah, but whatever. You know, maybe that'll happen. Maybe that'll happen one day. Kelly, don't give me one of those challenge coins. Don't give me one of those challenge coins because I'll tell you what's gonna happen. We're making another ring, baby.
I used to wear a dime on a necklace that I drilled a hole in. It was like 1997 on the dime. I used to wear that all the time. So I could see myself doing something similar to a challenge coin or something.
With the challenge coin. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's pretty big. It's beefy. It's a challenge coin. It's not just like a, little dime.
So what do you Okay, so we saw the video from Kelly. What would you do with it? Would you just put it on your dresser? Would you carry it with you?
I guess carry it in like a breast pocket or something in a suit, maybe,
What do we do? Jacob, I'll be honest, I
Put it
haven't
in
worn
a
a
wallet,
suit
maybe.
since I was confirmed.
Yeah, wear a suit. No, I'm a TV journalist. That's why probably.
Oh yeah, no, I wear hoodies and jeans and shorts all the time. Baseball caps. My profession. The only time I've ever had to dress up is get a job, and after that, it was like, all right, back to the drawing board.
Until we turn the coins into a drinking game at Texas State.
Post grad drinking game. But you said those coins are big. What do you do with that?
Yeah,
You put them in
if you
ears?
imagine like a Coke can and like the underside of it's a big circle, it's probably just a little bit less than that big circle underneath it.
Well, you can't play quarters with that because it's too big.
You could try.
No, I don't think you should.
You do a Pac-Man ring dunk.
What if you did like a beer pong, but with the coins?
You're gonna shatter some glasses.
That's big solo cups.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here.
We're brainstorming.
Spitballing. What
early stages of
flip it? You could just flip a coin and heads, everybody drinks, tails, whoever else drinks. I don't know.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Game of chance. Left side of the room just get shit faced. Who knew that heads could show up 6 times in a row? Who would have guessed?
These are back at Strand, so like the commencement ceremonies. So it's like an easier. Like when I graduated and then wanted to jump in the river, we had to walk from the stadium back to the river and then
across
walk
a parking lot.
Across the parking lot
through
snow.
Did you reminisce about having to walk that distance when you were a freshman in college? Having to walk from your dorm to the football game, go to the football game, walk back to your dorm.
This is why I'm kind of glad that they just put tailgate on the other side. This is the biggest change in the world. It makes all the difference, honestly, for a better atmosphere at the game.
And I don't know why you weren't doing it before, but shout out to them for getting their heads out of their asses. It works great.
Yeah, I guess the track is behind them. As long as there's no track stuff going on, I guess they could do stuff out there too.
That would be they would. It's a good idea. I think that the first time somebody messed something up, people would be pissed.
Oh yeah.
In the future, now this is like a year, 2 years in the future, I want to do a show from tailgate. So put that in your brains, fans, that hopefully at some point we can have the show squaring around from the tailgate.
Well, we're already pretty good friends with the scout team tailgaters, so maybe something in the works,
Something in the works. We'll put it together.
Well, on the same thread of commencement ceremonies, this is from our friends at the Cat's Corner podcast. Best things to do during graduation weekend, I should say. To me, there's nothing better than the square during commencement weekend. It's crazy.
Better than parents' weekend?
Huh?
Better than parents' weekend?
Parents' weekend, the parents don't go squaring. On graduation weekend, the parents go squaring, man.
There's a lot of parents at Chimmy's. Okay, our
There's
parents.
already a lot in the first place because Chimmy's is like a restaurant too. You know,
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that
there's
makes
a lot
sense.
all the time. There's nothing special about seeing a mom or dad at Chimmy's. But wait, do you have another thing for grad week?
Well, I'm just saying, if I saw a dad at Chimmy's
I wish
at
the
like,
baseball team was playing this weekend at home. That would be a big draw for us.
yeah, bad scheduling. Come on, Don,
So,
put it together.
well, that's not his fault. These schedules were made years in advance.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm
3
just
years ago, yes, that's
giving
on
a
it.
hard time. Giving a hard time. No, it makes sense. I get it.
I wish he played the Cajuns earlier in the year.
We gotta wrap up here. We gotta wrap up here soon, Jacob. But I do want to mention this. How many times are we gonna write the Dan Schumacher piece? I've seen that same article written 7 times, and you got shouted out, and all these
for what?
Yeah, you got not in the Dan Schumacher piece, but you got shouted out like a bunch of these like star people leaving, right?
No, I did.
Like, journalism people leaving.
I saw Arthur's. I didn't see anybody else's. Yet.
I get the Google updates. Okay, I have the Google alerts. Look, you gotta tell those guys the story's been done. Like, it's the same story every year. He does. I love Dan. Dan is one of my closest like mentors. He was a good friend. Who is asking him to do? He knows he's done this interview like 7 times. Why don't you just run it back? Like, you could just literally take the article that you wrote the year before and play it again, and it's the same story.
It's going to be all Chat GPT doing that. You know, we're going to get AI Dan to do the stuff for everybody. Perfect pronunciation.
Look. We'll make this quick because I know you love to dog on radio every chance you get. In the 1990s, early 2000s, radio stations started using automated voices where it was like, that was Michael Jackson, this is Elton John.
But that doesn't sound like that anymore.
People hated it. No, here's the thing. Even with the AI, I'm convinced that it's not going to make a dent. Maybe
those AI Joe Rogan episodes where it's him having a podcast with Steve Jobs.
That sounds awful.
It's the exact same. Doesn't even sound like a hiccup.
That sounds like a terrible.
I don't know if we're at the point where we could make a AI podcast on our own, just start cranking those out, because we've only done more than 30 episodes at this point. Joe Rogan's done over 1,000.
I'd be worried because I'd be worried I get canceled from what an AI said. That would always concern me as like somebody who's like making the content. Like, like that AI said, what? I don't even think that. But hey, the AI thinks that I think it. So now,
I pulled it from your background as
exactly. I don't want that. I don't want that. Bad ideas.
Coaches Nights with GJ Kinney got announced. So if you want him, he's going to be all over the place. San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, Austin. Basically just hitting up all the donors and being like, hey, here we go. Also, Zimmel, for you, all the biggest schools in Texas, right, are going to be at Chicken and Pickle at some time this summer to talk about their prospective program. Chicken and Pickle has this massive location, so I guess that's why they do it. But the Texas X's were last week. So is UTSA. We're going to be there in June. A&M's there at some point. It's pretty crazy that's just one meeting spot for all these teams in San Antonio. Jessica Mullins and Sarah Vanderford earned all conference honors in softball. And the Bobcats right now for the track and field team are in Myrtle Beach at the Sun Belt Conference. Track and field outdoor tournament.
Conference tournament, yep.
Conference tournament, yeah. So pretty cool. A lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Put a button on this and, basically, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Follow us on Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe.
This is a great episode.
Maybe next month, I guess. Or maybe 2 months from now, we'll do another mailbag. Just
start sending those questions in now.
Start sending them in because we put them in that big mailbag and then we unload them. Yeah. Squaring around. See you next week on Republic of Football. Peace. What's up, everybody? Before we go on this episode, I wanted to give opportunity again to be joined by Alex Powell, the star of the original Squarin Square Talks that we did. That's still like our main streamed show, I guess, on our main site. So Alex is leaving the football team. And so I just wanted to give him a chance to say goodbye, whatever he wanted to say, basically, and just kind of talk to us again too.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys having me back on. I did want to get on at least one more before I left here. I did want that, so I appreciate it. But yeah, I just want to come on and say thank you. Thank you to the fans, thank you to the staff, thank you to the players, thank you to everybody here at Texas State. It's a special school with special people in a special town. This place really is awesome and it's tremendous. And I don't, you know, life kind of has a different story for me. So, it's on to bigger, better things. But personally, I don't really want to go, but hey, it's a tremendous town. The weather's awesome. There's so much to do. Austin's so close. San Antonio's so close. The school itself has so many people that are not only like great people, but just fantastic at what they do. James Sherman, Connor Anderson, Chris Coots, Evan King, Drew Sawyer. These are just people that were Luis Mendoza, Andrew Johnson. He's not here anymore, unfortunately, but I got to meet him. There's special people here. And even though I'm leaving, I will always hold San Marcos and Texas State a little bit of my heart, and I'll always be a Bobcat, at the end of the day. So I failed out of college. I don't really have a lot of attachment to my old school, but I kind of like to think of Texas State as my alma mater a little bit. Like I really would rather root for this school than kind of the one I went to. Weirdly, I just love this place that much.
All right, Alex. I appreciate you saying that. On the count of three, we're both going to flip the bird at Jacob, okay? Because Jacob is against people who are T-shirt fans. If you didn't quit graduating from school, he doesn't like you. So on the count of three, we're flipping Jacob off. 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Jacob. Fuck Jacob.
Fuck you, Jacob.
There it is.
I'm a fan of whatever I want.
Yeah. Alex is a fan. I accept Alex as a Texas State Bobcat fan.
Well, Alex was a part of the team, so he is a Bobcat. So, in your
yeah. Look at him move the goalpost.
Man, he was employed by the school.
Look at him move the goalpost. It's fine.
I think. Go on. Sorry.
Floor is yours.
Oh, honestly, I was gonna say, I think being a student here you would claim this place more than like, oh, I worked there. At least just like someone that works in college athletics. Like you go college to college. That's just kind of how it is. If you go to 4 years there, you met people. Grew as a person. I think that 4-year thing. But coming from Iowa, like the big T-shirt thing is big because Iowa State's the easier school to get into, but Iowa's the better school with the more fans. And so everyone is just like Hawkeye fans, but they're like, oh, I went to Iowa State. And then the Iowa State fans get really mad at them for it. So I know completely where you're coming from with that. That's an everyday thing.
Tough. Well, the work that you were doing too is insanely personal because, like, I've got this one.
Oh, sweet, nice.
Yeah, this is the roster from the spring game. But
I always think
like the direct impact that you're having on the team too. So
I appreciate it. I genuinely, when I was hired at Indiana State, the head coach there told me to leave this place better than I found it, and that's something that I really took to heart. I felt I did there. That's something I felt I did here. Texas State, people didn't really know Texas State, man, and now at least I think on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, whatever, you see the graphic, you know who it is, you know who the Bobcats are. You might not know about how great of a school it is or who plays there or whatever, but you know of them, and that's a win at the end of the day. It's just people know Texas State. And putting out that cool content is going to make them not just know them, but like them, and be rooting for them, be excited for the next thing, So I really felt like we created this brand in my time here that's going to last for a long time and really not put Texas State on the map, but at least give it a little push,
Yeah.
So I almost did get one of those spring game things though. I had to ask. I offered to pay somebody. I was like, I made that. They didn't give me one, and she was
you
like,
want one? It's folded though. So
no, I got one. Thank God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you for that fan.
I'll give you mine, Alex. Cool. Well, yeah. Thanks, Alex. I just want to say thank you on behalf of all Bobcats for what you did, and good luck to whatever you decide to do, whatever's best for you and your family and everything. Yeah. Big hearts.
I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys a lot. We were talking about before. We're boys now.
Yeah, we're boys.
Yeah. I'll be an honorary host. I'll name myself. Just kidding.
Dude, no,
we can bring you on to rank other teams' graphics and stuff now too.
Give me 20 minutes to rant about the Vikings every week. Give me and Zimmel a 20-minute Vikings corner, and I'll do it. I could talk about the Vikings for hours.
Some of those Vikings and Cowboys games, those borderline. I was gonna have to fight Zimmel in my own house.
Dude, I have a really good friend of mine's a Cowboys fan. It gets tough sometimes. Man. They beat us every time too. I get really mad about that.
Not every time, Alex, because the one time that we beat them, I was in Jacob's house.
Oh, really? That's good. That's really
this year they got beat by a backup quarterback, so that was fun.
We don't talk about it. He'd start on the other 31 teams.
I like how he's just taking the money that the Cowboys are giving him. That's good.
It's the best.
Better than what Simone Biles' boyfriend has to do. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. Isn't he on the? Who's he? Who's her boyfriend?
With the Texans. Yeah.
He's like a DB, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's a practice squad DB, right?
Yeah, I don't think he starts.
No,
and he's for sure not going to start now. Like, it drafted 3 guys in the first round, all defense. Yeah.
If I were a head coach, I would offer their first child.
A former NFL player here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'd offer their future child a scholarship immediately if I could. If I was a head coach, 3 months old, here you go. You can come play.
You're smart marketing.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I was working in Corpus Christi last year, and we had to cover. They sold 1 week. We were talking about only the Cowboys camp, and the next week only the Houston Texans camp. And these are our talking points for the Texans. The first week they talked about Lovie Smith or whoever basically, because they don't have a lot of storylines to talk about in Houston. The next week they talked about the battle red helmets, and then the third week they talked about Simone Biles' boyfriend.
Nice.
Horrible.
Top 3, the big 3, yeah.
Yeah, big 3 talking items for Houston last year.
Those red helmets are ugly too, by the way. I'm not a fan at all. I think they have a really clean helmet. I don't know why we would change it.
Bring back the Oiler blue.
Facts. All right,
cool.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks, Alex, again for joining us.
Anytime, dude.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.